Well, Thanksgiving is almost here, and as a wrestling fan, you're thinking about the Survivor Series. So I know the Survivor Series is not as how it was back in the day, being that Thanksgiving tradition, but I was just looking at some of my old DVDs and just came across Survivor Series 2011. I can't believe this took place 10 years ago. It feels like a lifetime ago. It's just funny, The Rock was in the main event, and today, 10 years later, they're still wanting The Rock to come back to wrestling for that one more match. So let's look here. We got the main event. Here's the back cover here. This is back in the day when WWE would put out, DVDs. Well, they still do the DVDs, but now you can get this on the WWE Network. Again, this was the 2011 Survivor Series. The main event: John Cena and The Rock teaming up against The Miz and R-Truth. Now, I just remember with this pay per view, I guess the pay per view, I remember reading that the pay per view had low buy rates or something. It didn't do good numbers as they expected. So they couldn't blame John Cena and The Rock because they were going to go on and main event the following year's WrestleMania. So, of course, who got blamed for the low buy rates? Miz and R-Truth got blamed for that. And that was kind of like the end of the Miz's push to the top. Because in 2011, he was, earlier he was the WWE champion. He main evented WrestleMania with John Cena. But his stock kind of went down. And he went to like the mid card to the low card. And I think like the following year, or I know one year they kind of made him a baby face. And that was kind of looked forced and didn't really connect with the crowd. And then it wasn't until like years later, a couple years after this, that he kind of started to get momentum again. When he had that Intercontinental title run, and that's when he really started to. But now, as a Miz now, I mean, I don't think I honestly don't think he's ever been as big as he was back in this era of WWE in 2011. So this is a build, like can John Cena and The Rock coexist as a tag team before their big match at WrestleMania. So this was kind of like the thing that can they work together, and it was pretty cool that they were able to get The Rock for that match, and then also get him for the. And then back then in 2011, I don't know if Rock was a major star that he is today. Like today, he's like and he's making movies like there's like 5 Rock movies that come out like a year almost. In 2011, I don't think his career was as hot as it is today, and I think maybe he went back to WWE to kind of you know, uh, rejolt his career again and use the marketing of WWE because they could promote his movies on their TV and stuff like that. So that's why today, that's why it's so hard for The Rock to come back today because he's got so many movies that he's doing. So other matches on here, you have this is CM Punk finally winning the WWE Championship, or I would say winning it for the second time because against Del Rio, and that started his big reign as champion. We have Mark Henry against the Big Show. Other matches on here, let's see. Just looking it up on Wikipedia. It's been a while since I've seen this actual pay per view. Dolph Ziggler defending the U.S. title against John Morrison. This is the one where this is the part of this is the time period when Zack Ryder was really hot and he was really over with the crowd, and there were definitely like Ziggler chants. I'm sorry, Zack Ryder chants during that match. And I think it was the following pay per view at TLC is when uh, Zack Ryder I think beat Dolph Ziggler for the U.S. title. Beth Phoenix defending the Divas Championship against Eve Torres. Then they have the 5-5 Survivor Series elimination match. Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, Hunico, Jack Swagger, and Wade Barrett against Kofi Kingston, Mason Ryan, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Sin Cara. Wow. You look at that, look at the names of who's still, an active wrestler in WWE, against The Miz, R-Truth. Um, and yeah, it's definitely to look back at this time period in WWE as they were, things, again, they were approaching that big WrestleMania main event between The Rock and John Cena. They dubbed it as the once in a lifetime, and I truly believe that's true. You'll never have these two iconic wrestlers from that dominated 2 different periods of wrestling collide on one of the biggest shows, WrestleMania. I don't know if you'll ever see that again. Maybe with Roman Reigns or something against. But this was a really interesting show, and definitely something to maybe take a look at the WWE Network.